Hi there, Belinda White here. Welcome to my Wild Unknown Oracle card reading space. I'm on the floor of my bedroom and it's a beautiful, mild, early spring day. It's slightly overcast and I can see the beautiful linden trees outside my windows here to the south, and got the windows open and the breeze is coming in, and I feel extremely grateful to be sitting right here on this ground in this home. The way that it has held me, that it's supported me. And I want to acknowledge that I'm on the unceded and ancestral territories of the Squamish and Musqueam and Tsleil-Waututh peoples, Coast Salish. Many are calling this Vancouver on the Pacific Northwest of Turtle Island in BC, Canada. And yeah, I will often when I gather with folks online, I burn something in my space to acknowledge that, you know, we are united by more than just the visual. So if you have something in your space to burn or a candle to light, I recommend that you do. This is cedar, and the cedar is here for the space. Comes from the land here. Grandmother cedar is a plant that is offered. I pick it up from the ground and I dry it myself and burn it in honor of the peoples of these lands that have tended these lands for as long as anyone can remember, and to help clear the space and open my eyes and my ears and my mouth and my smell and my intuition and my voice and my belly and my shoulders, my back, my knees, my feet, and the connection between us here. And then I'm also going to burn some rosemary because my ancestors mostly hail from what we now call Europe, Celtic lands in what is called England and Ireland and Scotland now, and the northern part of what is called Portugal, Lusitania. Those people on the rosemary to help activate the memory, my memory, my intuition, my clarity, my clear sight, and the vision of the many that walked before me and the many that will continue to walk after. So I burn those two plants to initiate the space and this time that we have together. I have been really excited to start using Kim Krans's deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. It's just really fantastic. And the reason that it really worked for me and my family and some of my friends is that it is nature connected. It is something that we can access. I think the symbolism and the idea of spirit animals as guides is still quite alive and close to the surface in a lot of our sense of meaning and purpose and intuition. And so I wanted to have something in my home that my teenager could potentially access, and also something that I could use with my students. I'm a deep nature connection mentor. And so for the past 8 years, I've been cultivating my relationship with the more than human, and most specifically with plants and the animals and the trees and all the other little creatures and the elements, the winds, four directions, and the heavenly bodies, grandfathers and the waters and so forth. And so this animal spirit really came in as an extra aid to help with my own inner tracking process, my own nurturing of my intuitive abilities and my dream work and my way of interpreting the signs that show up, that show up in the stories that we read, in the land, what's happening with the land and with the weather, the animals that we meet, and yeah, just sort of inner guides as well. So that's Kim Krans' Animal Spirit deck, which is just absolutely fantastic, and I've been using it for a few years now. And this year I decided that I wanted to also get the Archetypes guidebook that comes in this beautiful round box. It's very heavy and very kind of sheen and glossy, and has a very treasure-like tactile feel to it. And this one is just fantastic because it taps into more of the Jungian look at the collective unconscious and the way we interpret symbols and archetypes. And so it's particularly fantastic because it has the archetypal characters like the queen or the beggar, the child, the crow. And it also has archetypal places like the cave and the ocean and the castle. And it has archetypal tools like the tear or the dagger, the ring. And it has archetypal transformative events like apocalypsis, the Greek, based on the Greek huge transformations. So I'm finding this one's fantastic, and there are suggested ways of reading these, of course, and some of the ones we know that are quite traditional, like spread of 3, you know, with what's arising in the present, what led up to it, and what's coming next, and other creative ways as well. But I have been really inspired to use them in tandem. This more as an access to a deep quest, you know, what's arising from the mythic imagination, and I guess what we might call the greater story, you know, the story that's arising from the land. And so these ones, as you can see, are pretty awesome. They look almost like diamonds. Look at this, like etched stones. I love that. So they're hard to shuffle. I shuffle them like this, and I thought I would share with you today. Today is International Women's Day, and I don't know how I feel about one single days that are sort of selected to remind us to commemorate particular feelings, Mother's Day and Love Day, and, you know, International Women's Day or International Child's Day, Indigenous Day, Anti-Bullying Day. I feel like they're extractionist. You know, they're isolating, they disconnect the fundamental impulse that we have to truly empathize and truly connect with the archetypal impulse in that day. And so what is the archetypal impulse for today? You know, if we were to cultivate that today, if we were to really just focus on that today, notice I'm wearing my tiger socks. I have my Buddha on. I have my Earth t-shirt. Ferocity, animal body, mother as home, and peacekeeper and universal love. I want to embody these things, right? And so today, if we were to call together to embody what we see as women, you know, what we feel as women in ourselves, perhaps some of the incredible archetypal heroes of womanhood that have stood up for us, what might our questions be for women today? And so I thought I would do a spread for that for you. And the first thing I do when I use these for a special day or special time, like I did a spread for the water tiger. I did a spread for Imbolc. I follow my intuition and I create a new spread. And so what I'm going to do in this one is I'm actually going to go through the cards and find all the ones that to me represent some form of womanhood. Here's one, the shapeshifter. So I'm going to actually have these ones come out here, shapeshifter, and I'm going to lay them out. I'm going to lay them out in an effort to open up a space of what woman might be here. And then I am going to create a spread around it. So let's keep going with this. Put the heart. I'm going to put the heart out here. So some of these are places, some are tools, some are. I'm going to put the mirror up here because a lot of us are quite obsessed with our self-image, and a lot of how we interpret womanhood in our modern day culture is really driven by how we see ourselves and how we imagine other people see us. So here's the mirror. I think the siren shall come out as well. So let's see, what else do we have here? I'm not going to share all of these with you. I'm going to continue to I'm going to do the cave as well. I'm hoping there's also a key. I'll lay these out as they come. And okay, here's the queen. Here's the queen. I'm going to lay the queen out. And I'm going to keep going here with this until I until I find all the ones that I think make sense today with what's happening in the world, what makes sense here, as far as what we might need. I'm gonna put the seed as well. I do believe that women are essentially carriers of seeds and holders of what is regenerative, and not all of us have children, and I want to acknowledge that there are many seeds here. So I'm going to add the seed here, and pretty soon I'm going to have too many, but let's see. We'll keep going. And oh, here's also the womb. I'm going to add the womb. And this is a lot of I'm going to add the sustainer. It's a very powerful card here as well. And what else do we have here? I think this is very important. So I'm going to put her here, the warrior, as well. And I'm going to have too many cards here. The warrior, and here is the mother. And you are going to experience different things as you see these cards. And I will take photographs of them so that you can see them here as well. And we will keep going with this until I have them all. Here we have the maiden. So I'm going to put all of these out here. I'm going to need more space. I may have them all. I don't think I do have them all, but there's the maiden. And here's the crone. So I have, do I have all of them? I have my floor here. All of these cards here. So let's just make sure. Oh, no. Mother. Woman. No. I'm going through these, sorry. Like this, the riddle. I'm looking for the key. Oh, I'm looking for the key. I know it's here somewhere. Is there a key here? Maybe there isn't a key. There's a cave, but no key. All right, I have them all. I have them all. I think I have all the ones that we need. So those are the ones I've chosen. And what I'm gonna do is, the cards are shuffled. I'm gonna cut the cards, and I'm going to, beside each of these on the right, I'm gonna lay one archetype card. And then on the other side, I'm gonna lay one animal card, and they will be flipped upside down. And so your invitation will be to choose one or two of these that is calling to you today, that is calling to your need to understand what International Women's Day, or what turning our gaze and our deep attention to holding women in our hearts, in our wombs, what that might be asking of us today. So let me just remind you what I have. I have the crone, and I have the moon, the seed. The order of these is always kind of surprising. The queen, the cave, the shapeshifter, the heart, the mirror, the siren, the sustainer, the warrior. I know many just consider that the warrior is more of a masculine archetype, and I say no to that. So right below the mother, the warrior, we have the mother. Now, if things are coming up for you as you look at these, if things are uncomfortable, if memories are popping out, if associations that you have with your own mother, your sister, your brother, your relationship as a mother or as a warrior or shapeshifter, your own sense of self-worth, your heart. If these things are arising, those might be signs, right? So how do you follow that? How do you pay attention to that? The last one here is the maiden, right at the bottom. So this is exciting. These have been shuffled, and I will split them with my non-dominant hand, which is the way that we're often guided to. Like this one. Two. And restack them. And then beside each of these, intuitively or randomly, is it random or is it intuition? I'm going to lay one down beside. I think I'm going to start with what I find is first place. I'm going to do the cave and the crone. Shapeshifter and siren, and the mirror, and the heart. Sage. And the womb. Another. And the queen. And the stand. So you can see I have all of these laid out here like this. That is going to be the spread. And that's a huge spread. There's a lot of room here for choice, right? So which one are you most called to choose? And I will take photographs of all of these and share them in the comments so that you can gaze at them and make a decision. And my recommendation is that you choose one. I'm going to use the animals as well. And so these are the central themes. So this is the thing that is triggering something in you. It's calling something, some, magical correlation is being summoned. And so we follow that trail. We allow that image to evoke something in us. And before we even look at the cards or read them, we consider what the meaning might be of this and why it's even calling to us. So got the animal spirit deck. So the same thing, I'm going to shuffle them with this idea in our hearts that we are, turning our attention to what is woman and how is woman speaking through us right now, and I acknowledge women as mother and non-mother. I acknowledge women as she and he and they and it. And of course, I acknowledge mother as kin as well. Kith and kin being pronouns that include all of the more than human and the non-human, And some of us like to be included in that. We want to be seen that way. So how is mother showing up? Ooh, hello you. This one fell out. I'm going to leave her to be a clue for us. Okay. I'm going to turn her over at the end of the video. So here we go. What is it that we need to know from women today and going forward? Not just for one day, but what do we want to initiate or plant or spark today that we can continue to? So let's just give a bit of space so you guys can see me. I'm going to split these with my non-dominant hand and restack them. And then again, intuitively, I'm just going to pace. I think I'm actually going to follow the same order that I did before with the cave. I don't know if I remember it. Okay. The crone. Shapeshifter. The heart. And the seed. A little bit crowded. I'm going to turn them sideways. This is kind of fun. Seed. Maiden. Siren. Warrior. Wind. The queen. And the mother. The mirror. And the sustainer. There we go. We have them all. So now we have our spread. Now we have our spread, and I wanted to share with you what this one is. This is going to be a clue for us. Oh my gosh. Sea serpent. That's beautiful. Sea serpent is here. Let's see what sea serpent has to say. Put these ones away. I think you're gonna need to sit on this side. So there's a clue for sea serpent, and perhaps you guys would like me to read you the one that I choose, just so you have a sense of what's going on. So this book is divided into the elements. There is water and earth and fire and air. And there's a song that we sing in Nature Connection Mentoring. It goes like this. Earth, my body, water, my soul, air, my, oh no, not like that. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my soul, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my soul, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my soul, and fire, my spirit. So, I thought that would be a good idea. Sea serpent is a clue. Sea serpent is a clue here. Let's see. I think of the many myths and stories of the serpent that winds its way around the world or through the universe, the kind of umbilical cord or many, many threads through our concept of time as well. Its circular way and the snake that rises from the depths of the earth, and in this case, the ocean. And it feels, looking at the picture, it reminds us of the Ouroboros. It's got its tail in its mouth, the cycles of time, and it has something in the middle that looks like an eye or an egg. It seems very protective to me. But those are my interpretations, and I think I invite you to consider for a minute before I read what it says, what the sea serpent or its snake and other archetypes and images that are invoked by it, what they mean to you. If you need to pause the video and take a few minutes to write that down, that would be a good idea. So this book has earth, water, earth, air, and fire. And then it also has the spirit animals or the spirit creatures. And they correspond to, as well, to the chakras. So sea serpent is part of that. And she is, or it is, or they are connected to the second chakra. So I think this is a clue for us. Let me read it. Oh, okay, this is what it says. Sea serpent, healing emotional wounds, expressing desires. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression. Whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire, the sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. We know what we desire most. We express ourselves creatively and sexually without shame. It's interesting for me because, you know, the sort of generativity of women for me is exactly that, is that we have this force in us to create life, human life, but also all forms of creation, you know, artistic and revolutionary included, and also very subtle and tiny, and what many would consider mundane, like clearing a space or preparing a meal. And that, along with shame around our bodies and how we use them, we have also picked up, over several centuries, if not more, a lot of shame around our scarcity, around our not enoughness. That to be a woman somehow is to be eternally not enough instead of eternally abundant. So that's what's coming for me. Again, if stuff is being evoked, feel free to pause the video and write things down. So the sea serpent, the essence of this card is in balance. We express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are at ease, and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. And for me, this word relationships doesn't just mean our relations to our partners or our lovers or our family members, our children, but also our relationships to ourselves and the way we work, our process, our careers, our creative process, our duties, and also the more than human, you know, that the plants and what is unseen, the animals and the elements, so all our relations, all our hearts are at ease and our relations are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. Loosen self-judgment. Forgive, heal. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. Floods and stagnation. I don't think I need to say anything about that. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us, sea serpent. No matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same, like a mother. She wraps herself around us in a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true natures. So the sea serpent, as described by Kim Krans in her beautiful book, some pictures for you, is also correlated with the second chakra. So that's pretty intense as well. I think right now I'm remembering a lot of what Clarissa Pinkola Estes writes about generativity and creativity and sexual desire and shame in women. Let me know if you want to hear something about that. I'll share more about it in another video. Yeah, that we have Clarissa Pinkola Estes talks about the river below the river and the muddy waters a lot, and that if we don't look there, you know, it's very hard to kind of allow those waters to clear and to find what is truly ours, I guess, truly our birthright as women and as all people, cultivating what is woman within us. So I'm seeing that as well in this card. And if we bring our attention down to our second chakra, if you don't know where that is and you're curious, take a moment to guess. You know, it's not a test. It's okay if you get it wrong, but to feel in your body maybe where the sea serpent lives and what might be the second chakra. Pause this video if you need to write or draw. The subtle energy of the sea serpent occupies the area of the Svadhisthana chakra, located deep within the pelvic bowl. This chakra is known as our center of creativity and desire, and it is associated with the water element. Svadhisthana translate as in her abode, indicating this chakra is the home of the Divine Mother, or Kundalini itself. That's what the deck spat out for us. So this is like this stuff. You know, I remember when I was a kid, I dabbled with tarot and Ouija boards and all this kind of thing. And I was like, is it magic? You know, like, what is the energy? What are the chances that the signs that we need are the signs that show up? Or as a herbalist friend of mine said once, the medicine we need is what we have in our hands. Like, what are the chances that there is some sort of invisible force that allows these things to correlate in a magical way? And honestly, I don't really know, and I don't really mind. It's like I care, but I don't really mind. I don't need to put my finger on it. I don't need to hold it and know it and tear it apart and have it be mine. You know, I can just allow the mystery of it to work with me. It doesn't have to be magic per se. So I want you to keep that in mind for those of you who feel a little bit uneasy about this stuff, or that aren't sure how it works for you. This is a beautiful card to have fall out. So, you know, have this one. This is the one that's sort of overseeing this whole process for us today, the second chakra. And it's described here, Kim Krans describes it as in her own abode. And it is a pelvic bowl. When I read that, you know, we think about the pelvic floor. When I thought of bowl, I thought of some earth, some clay was molded, turned into a bowl, or rolled into a snake and woven into one of those coil bowls. And that from that clay, from that bowl of clay, so much life arose. So that's what came for me. And it is the home of the Divine Mother. And it is the center of our creativity and our desire. And the water element. And I guess I would ask you before you choose your card now to just hold those ideas for a moment together. The desire, strong desire, you know, and creativity and the water element are connected in woman somehow. And I'll leave it at that. And I want to remind everybody that we are in the year of the water tiger. If you wanted to know more about that spread, I can also link that one in the comments. Let me know. Yeah, just write me a question down below. And I will, choose your card. Should I show you the cards one more time? I was going to read you the one that I chose, but I don't want to trouble anybody with one of the readings. So I'll leave these for you here. I had said that I was going to take pictures and put them in the comments, but I will not. I am going to start I'm going to start down here and show you these cards again. Which one will you choose? Maiden? The Mother? The Warrior? The Sustainer? The Siren? The Mirror? The Heart? The Shapeshifter? Okay. The Queen? The Seed? The Womb? The Crown? And with that, I am going to end this video and say thank you. And I did want to just say that if you are a man or a queer person or non-binary person or somebody who doesn't identify with the word woman or does identify with the word woman, but in a way that is not dependent on being a cis female gendered person, this is for you as well. I really wanted to be clear about that, and I should have clarified it at the beginning, but I'm doing it now. Sometimes things happen in reverse. That's okay. And yeah, I invite you to choose one of these, and I will, yeah, if you message me, if you comment below, I will send you a message and tell you what the cards are. All right. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. I am going to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time. Let me know if this is something you enjoy and would like to do more often. And thanks to Lindsay Lila for canceling our session together so that I had to set up already for a personal in bulk in the belly wild unknown reading with somebody, but yeah, Lindsay canceled. So, well, she didn't cancel. I kind of canceled. We canceled together. We rescheduled. And so I had the space kind of set up for this, and I'm feeling grateful for that. I think that this is an interesting spread. So let me know which triptych you'd like to have read for you based on which of the picture cards, the archetype cards that I shared with you during the video is really speaking to you for whatever reasons. Either it makes you uncomfortable, or it excites you, or you have like a really deep curiosity to follow that trail. All right. Until the next time we meet.